Now call me crazy, but normally when an adult full-on dates a child, it's considered weird. Normally, there's a lot of critiques that you could throw at a couple that have that particular discrepancy. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, when we think of Joel Madden of Good Charlotte and Hilary Duff from back in the day, we're still giving them a pass, even though he was 25 and she was 16. Not only is that a 9-year age gap, but that is like a full-on adult and a teenage child. Hey, how's it going? I'm Dan Frampton. I'm going to have this conversation today, as uncomfortable as it may be. We got to get back in the DeLorean, go back to the early 2000s. But before we do that, go down there, find that button that looks like a thumb, hit the thumbs up. If you want to join the channel and get access to exclusive goodies and be in the secret society, all you got to do is go down there and hit that join button. With all that out of the way, let's go back to 2004, okay? Hilary Duff was on top of the world, and she was a 16-year-old pop star, okay? She's just killing it. Absolutely killing it. Good Charlotte out there killing it. These two acts are all over MTV, okay? And apparently Joel Madden of Good Charlotte meets up with Hilary Duff because of a mutual friend, and they end up seeing each other in the shadows. They know it's weird, so they're not telling anybody about it until Hilary Duff's mom just leaks it out in a 17 interview. Okay, she's like, oh yeah, my 17-year-old daughter at this point is dating a near 30-year-old man in a pop punk band. Isn't that cool? And everybody's like, oh, that's pretty sick. When's her 18th birthday? And they're like, we're gonna have an 18th birthday party. It's gonna be televised, don't worry about it. But before that, 2 months before her 18th birthday party, they come forward as a couple, okay? Now we got a 17-year-old child, high school aged person, and someone who's the legal age in every part of the world ever. Now you can argue, oh my god, the age of consent this, the age of consent that. This is happening for years and years in rock and roll and pop culture. What are you doing freaking out about this? This is 20 years ago. Dude, man, we had an adult dating a child, okay? And it was just cool. And not only was it just cool, even till today, it's still just considered whatever. But we'll get into that. So 2005 rolls around, 2006 rolls around. Now these two are a public couple. They're doing the whole photo shoot thing, and it's all centered on the fact that these two people are so different. He has so many tattoos and is always frowning, and she's blonde and always smiling. Isn't that quirky? Isn't that weird? Isn't that something interesting? Not that it was predicated on a whole bunch of grooming, abuse, and manipulation, and I'm just saying that right now. Maybe it isn't that, but when you take an adult and a child, those elements are just like naturally there. Now there isn't that level of power dynamic when you're talking about these two. Both of these two were super famous, but when you are an adult, you're operating with a more, I don't know, developed brain than a child. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how famous you are. Numbers in a bank account don't eradicate that fact. You know what I'm saying? And even until this day, Hilary Duff is saying, oh, Joel was so sweet. He took his time. We went on dates. It was a couple dates before we did anything physical. A couple dates, you say? Hopefully those dates were like 3 years apart from one another. And then later on, she goes on to say, like, I was a kid dating an adult. I'll leave it up to your imagination what we were doing. And then in 2006, just as fast as it started, it ends. It seems like he just wanted to fall in love with the kid for a little bit. You know what I mean? And I think doing the whole physical thing with children is abhorrent, but when you add a whole level of like love and intimacy on top of all of that, I don't know how my brain is gonna process this. How do you actively, as an adult, pursue such an endeavor? How do you guys think that this is okay? And then everybody in your circle is just being like, okay, let's protect the weird couple because they're really rich and famous and they're actually our meal ticket for everything. So if anything comes out, our meal tickets are gonna go away and everyone's gonna get fucked because of this, and we can't have that. So they all just kind of sweep it under the rug. They don't make a big deal of it. It's all just like whatever. And even as recently as 2022, 2023, we have outlets like People coming out being like, oh, the time that these people did did this thing. And apparently in their respective couples right now, they're going on double dates with one another. You know what I mean? They hang out all the time and it's not weird. Apparently, Hilary Duff's husband trolled Joel Madden on his birthday. These guys are trading barbs. These guys are just joking back and forth, having a little bit of banter on the internet, and it's all cool as if this full-grown adult man wasn't pursuing, dating, and actively being in a relationship with a child. Now, this was 20 years ago, alright? I'm not here to concern troll about any of this sort of thing. It's just the kind of thing that needs to be talked about on this channel. I go back in the DeLorean. I talk about all the weird, creepy stuff that has gone on. And this is some weird, creepy stuff that has definitely gone on, okay? And I get this requested all the time, okay? Talk about Hilary Duff. Talk about Joel Madden. You gotta talk about their relationship. He was 25. She was 16. It's super weird and super gross, and everybody's just so cool with it. And there are so many elements to this that make it so weird and freaky, okay? Back then, everybody was waiting for the 16-year-old stars to turn 18. What a freaky concept that is. That wouldn't fly today. You can't go onto a talk show and be like, oh yeah, we're waiting for her to turn 18. That is gross, bro. But that was the culture. And I was a child back then when that was the culture, and I didn't really understand how fucked up it is. But here I sit in 2023 being like, oh my god, dudes, we're really out there being like, oh, Olsen twins, oh, Hilary Duff, we can't wait until these children turn 18. And they were just saying it publicly on television and stand-up sets everywhere. It was just a part of the culture, so fucked up, so weird. And here we are today, they're no longer together, but they're going out on double dates? Dude, what the fuck? And I think maybe one of the reasons why nobody is talking about this and pointing any fingers or casting any real blame on anyone is because nobody really came out as a victim in this story, you know what I mean? Nobody came out and said they were damaged or hurt or abused or manipulated or anything like that. It's all very amicable. But when you just look at those ages, 25 and 16, you just know that that's fucked up. But I'm not here to cancel anybody. I don't want you to stop following anybody or throw hate or harassment at anybody, you know what I mean? This is just a public story, and I have a public channel that talks about these things, and I take requests from viewers like you. So if there's anything you want me to talk about, please sound off down there in the comments. But until my next upload, you can watch these other uploads over here. Okay, see you later.